Hello everyone. How are we doing today? Happy Sunday. I hope the week has been good to you. I am very happy to be here. This week the plan is to finish the Up the Devil demo, which we started last week. And it was super interesting, so I'm very excited to see how that game goes. Little man, how are you doing? How you been? We had lunch at my boyfriend's parents' house, so that's why it took a little longer. I had a 10-minute delay roughly, but nothing too much. I have my decaf here. Oh, musical chef got first. Oh, hi, how are you doing? Sorry, that went past me. Oh my god, words, it's Sunday. How are we doing? Doing good, how are you? I'm doing okay as well. I took my decaf. I'm just chilling in here. I have my decaf and my sparkling water because one beverage for hydration and another one for funsies. So cheers. But the week went great. I started vacations on Friday, so I'm very excited. And tomorrow, me and my boyfriend are going to spend just a night in Spain. So I'm very excited. I definitely need to pack my swimsuit because we're going to the beach. And I have to go get my little bucket and shapes to do in the sand because I love those. I bought one last year and it's been my happiness whenever I go to the beach, which is not often. So I have to take advantage of the time I get. Like, there was something I did as a kid that kind of just got lost. And last year I was checking, like, browsing the store and whatever, and I was like, I should buy this again. And it's so much fun. So I definitely have to go get my bucket and my shapes to do in the sand, because we're gonna have a great time. And then from what I see in the poll, which I did on my Discord, the big stream, overwhelming votes to be next Friday, the 22nd. So I'll work on like some visuals and get everything set up for that stream specifically, because I'm very excited. I already have some games lined up. It's gonna be a 7-hour stream. And I have some ideas. But I'm gonna suggest, after this poll is over, which is overwhelmingly like voting for Friday, I'll put some options of games to see what you want to see most. Because again, I have a list, but I still don't know the order to play things. So I'm gonna see what's up. But yeah, I've been just kind of chilling. Yesterday I went to the mall and I bought some stuff. I went to hang out with a friend, which I hadn't seen in a long time. Last time we were together, we were reminiscing. Last time we were together was in December. A really long time ago. Like, sure, we've been speaking on Discord and doing like anime sessions on Discord and whatever, but actually seeing each other, it's been since December. So yesterday we went to the mall and hung out a little bit. So I'm very excited. But that's it. I hope your week has been good also. I am going to start the game without further ado and see what's up. I already started the game. Hold on. We're ready. Game. All right. Oh, it's loading. Okay. Whatever you say, pretty girl. I remember saving. At least I hope so. Continue. There you go. That's exactly it. Oh yeah, because we finished our dialogue with the so what called Heartbreak Killer, because that's not him. That is not him. Okay. I didn't realize you could smoke in here. Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. Smoking in a non-smoking area for a fee. I guess so. Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock. Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this. No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though. Oh. Why does everyone think the first time's so goddamn important? Hey, cheer up. Oh, hold on. Oh my god, that's so cool. So I just need some print screens real quick. I've got relevant experience in other areas. Oh. And, what areas are those? You ever gamble, Carlos? No, ma'am. I never go anywhere near loot boxes. Won't touch the stuff. I meant more like playing cards. Oh, well then, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck. Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun. Okay, so, do you have a good poker face? I like to think so. And are you lucky? Only when the stakes are high. And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker. And the state's the dealer? If only. No, the state's more like the house. You mean like the house always wins? Yes. They're very good at it, winning, I mean. That's why they're up there and we're down here. That's why they're the house. So what do? We play the cards we're dealt as best we can, win more hands than we lose. Keep it up and eventually someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave. That doesn't sound very triumphant. The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose. Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say? Just leave all the talking to me. So that's the strategy. Oh my god, she's so cute. I love her. What's up? You know there's a thing about gamblers with strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? Cause I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. The district attorney have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long protracted trials, and they all dislike having their times wasted. Unfortunately then, you'll have to call them back, because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here. Right. What she said. You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending this man's innocence, Detective. Counselor, we have your client's written confession. His written confession. Let's start there. Okay, we'll be happy to. The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint by number stuff. See, we found a note at his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are facts. Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. And now I've got the weapons to answer anything they try and throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for analyze the facts as it laid out and then receive the response in your hand. Ooh, select the card that best answers the argument and place it into the slot on the right. You can mouse over your opponent's portrait for a reminder while write the key point you're answering. Okay, let me just take a sip of my decaf. Ceramic crap near western window. Murder weapon. No, he was apologizing for this. He was simply apologizing for this. The hell is that? I found myself asking the exact same question. What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene? This diagram of the room, it's created from your data you captured, right? Pure non-GMO augmented reality crime scene data, yeah. What's non-GMO? Not much these days. Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room full of busted shit. It's the scene of a murder. Full of busted shit, for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. What the hell is that? Ceramic debris, huh? Must be from the vase that got tossed. Actually, that's not possible. Oh? Because that vase... Fuck, I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm gonna check my own VOD. Is this cheating? Hold on. Come check out this with me. It's not that I want. Alright, let's check this out. What about the vase? Guess I never actually asked her out on the real formal way. Stupid stuff. I haven't been working, haven't been making money. Haven't been pulling. They said it's an apology. So I'd have a script. And that clock was still on the wall. Oh, it was an urn. A confession hurt them. Her fidget tubbies. Yeah, so it was nothing about the vase. Zero things about the vase. It wasn't damaged. It's not possible for the debris to have come from the vase, because that vase is still pristine. How is that? How is that possible? Did I do it right? It wasn't that, at least. The lady at the garage sale told me it was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried and thrift shopped on my own. Well, so what? What does it even matter? If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it, then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collections of fidget tubbies. What he said. Mr. Flat broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology. Can you prove that? We're taking this seriously? As much as I wish we weren't. We're all in agreement that my client wrote that note, and we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris at the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectibles. Simple, right? The hell are you on about it? The entire room was trashed, as the arts clearly shows. Those fidget tubbies must have gone pulverized during the struggle, too. You're really gonna claim you sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Is there? Not the revolver, the rental. A dusty fidget tub slayer. Oh, his bionic arm. Just take a closer look at the rental he took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the Pickle Buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did that take into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes? Now that you mention it. Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm while he was killing her. Happy? Overjoyed because even a cheap arm's got an operating system that logged the last time it was worn, right? Right. See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report said that rentals hadn't been used since the AM. Whose side are you on, old man? It's gone pretty late, sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can. Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how scrawled, how panicked that note is. You expect me to believe he was that upset over a fidget toy collection? One that hasn't even been graded. Setting aside Detective Ray's surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over them, over their loss. But so what? So what? After all, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos is sensitive. Like, sure, he's an engineer, but that's not... I'm checking this again. Yeah, they meant a lot to her, so he's sensitive. Because Carlos is just that sensitive. Are you talking about my arm sensitivity issues? Yes, that's what I was referring to. Could have gotten there faster, don't you think? Oh, it wasn't because of that. I lost something. Fuck. The hell are you talking about? What I'm saying, Carlos is right-handed and his rental fingers don't even bend. Fuck. It's fine. He's sensitive. It meant a lot to her. He's a good guy. I thought it was the hype brand, and it was. Little man, you were right. I went for feelings when it actually was not even about feelings. So the reason it looks like Asylum one... Right, we were talking about the note, not the collectibles. The note. I mean, it could have been both, to be honest. He's a really sensitive guy, but he was also right-handed and it didn't work. I was thinking about the collectibles still. Shit. It's because he had to use his left hand to write it. I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. I just thought it could be good practice. Taking that into account alongside the ceramics, your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client is remorseless. Now, let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... What, you're gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? She's trying to bait me in her typical low-key fashion. You won't always have the stronger hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Try to lose as little credit as possible and wait for a more favorable chance. Okay. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, detective? I'm just curious. What will it be next? You're gonna tell me that he actually wears an extra small? Ooh, stay. Stay or? Oh, or raise. I'm gonna stay. He doesn't wear. What if I raise? Oh, sorry. No, I'm gonna stay. Gee, Carlos, do you? No. Yeah, sure. There's no evil twin you're forgetting to mention. I'm gonna stay again. There's no evil twin. No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party at the time of the crime. Oh, the scene of the crime. To prove his innocence, I will need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence, what it would be rates. I can prove a third party? No, we cannot. I can't prove. I have no evidence of a third person at this time. The scene of the crime, am I right? Very Italian. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arts. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being dead that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious when she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep and take any more damage than I had to. We're not contesting any of that, detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene, which was not smart. Hey, but not illegal either. And that's all? He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did. Right. Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way? The lab finished with them a while ago. What are you getting at? It'll be easier to just show you. Would you mind getting them for me? Do you know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. Stinks of bullshit in here anyway. Damn. And here I thought the room smelled like... Martin, what are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that like make me look pretty bad? Just relax, Carlos. Oh my god, she's so cool. I love her. I'm pretty sure that's impossible. You're innocent. And that means that having more evidence will always help you not hurt you. Really? Really? Not really. Plenty of innocent people in prison. People with bad luck. Or bad lawyers. People shouldn't count on the truth to come out easy. More often than not, it takes is that coaxing? I'm going to say coaxing. What was it that it reminded me of? Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. She actually thought it over. So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. Pronunciation of coaxing was correct. Yes, thank you. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart. By a gun that happens to be an old world pre-tagging firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does this make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. What you can smell on the coat with your nose, what you can feel, what you can see. Okay, not what you can see. Let's smell the coat. Just do one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of cigarette. That's what I've been smelling. Yes, Detective London. I was smoking earlier. Could you rejoin the conversation? I've been listening. You wanted me to smell the jacket? If you would. Let's see. Huh. No gunpowder. Bam, kablam. I'm so correct. Let me do something. I put this up so it doesn't cover. There you go. You all guys got promoted. You're up there. Congratulations. Big brain. Totally planned. What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few years older than me. But not before your partners, it seems. See, gunpowder's weak by today's standards, but still volatile stuff, hard to store, prone to misfiring. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell is she talking about, London? Modern firearms like those we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise, and they don't leave behind any residue. Gunpowder residue. You talked my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it leaves a gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they have found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they've taken the time to highlight a bit. Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when you officers found him. Would you really go through all the effort to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue, just to get the victim's blood all over himself afterwards? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flatt is facing. As soon as possible. He looks so silly. They're faltering now. Should topple over at any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. But that gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So if it looks like he never actually fired the gun, I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did you get a message? Wait, did they actually manage to find it? Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? You're good. Twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting, and right now, I'm staring at the photo of the killer. Wanna bet? A photo of the shooter? If she had that, we wouldn't be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something from the scrubbers. What would Stay be? She must have something. She must be bluffing. Ooh. Just finishing my decaf. Let me put this aside because things are getting more twisted. I'm gonna raise. She must be bluffing. That's a bold bluff for this late in the game, Detective. Especially when we both know that there was an optics blackout during the shooting. Well, that's just it. This isn't from optics. Oh, fuck. I should have figured she wouldn't make a claim that bold without something to back it up. Party's over, counselor. Feast your eyes on this. Well, okay, the quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, with the scale their tools operate on, I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. You could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are, well, it's a little bit blurry. Don't look at me, I didn't take the goddamn thing. Technically, no one took it. Looks like the time of the shooting a neighbor was on their phone. probably venting about how crazy the couples across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on. And so we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, colors shifted, and so compressed it looks like from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I could count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in court goodbye. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. And there's no way in hell you could get past a judge. Yeah, you're probably right, we couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. That photo. What the hell is happening to me? Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know had their left hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side node had no gunpowder whatsoever. Forensics never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get where you're going, you somehow end up dry. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test. Carlos is innocent. I know he is. But that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. If both are true, then that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never! I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly? Exactly. Positional is data usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we de-added the phone's owner and asked them where, why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tell us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces the south. There's always a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that it was taken from across the north window. From the north? If this is from the north, then we can clearly see the... It's not complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must have lived on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize the opportunity to start turning the tide. She's wrong. The photo was taken from the west. Or stay. She's right. The photo was taken from the north. I don't know. I'm gonna raise. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of bluff is that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's NARS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo is showing the exact moment of the shooting. And you can now raise an ante on a hand up to the current max. Ooh, answer wrong and you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly and you can bank up more credit for trickier hands down the line. Ooh, okay. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider statement, mirrors upright, clock was on the wall, cushions in bed were neat. I'm gonna put the statement here. Just take a look at the clock in that photo. The clock? What about it? The clock, huh? Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high. This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. I don't remember the time of death. Is that something I can check on my phone? What are the facts? Profiles. Evidence. Autopsy report. Time of death 9 p.m. Okay. So... Hold on. And what do we see now? I didn't see the picture of the clock. Heck. But it looked right. It looked like it was 9. I want to check the clock. It looked correct. Ooh, customized phone. Oh, I don't have store credit. It looked like it was correct. He's right, the time of death could be wrong. He's wrong, the time of death is correct. I'm gonna keep praising. It's fine. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. Yes! The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree the time of death was 9 p.m. Right, no mistake in that. So then, what the hell are you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style. And it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What? Actually, I don't recall there being a clock. That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing a clock. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in their room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. The hell's that supposed to be? An artistic rendition. It's, very distinct. If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the arcs? And show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info doesn't mean we have to play fair, detective. Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred, then this photo must have been looking through the western window to see it. Don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m. the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that this clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting. You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Glass. Ceramic crack near western window. The room was trashed before the shooting. What am I trying to say? After the shooting? Then how did the shards fell on the victim? Glass. Glass shard? What about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards? It's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me more, detectives. Were there any signs of a struggle at the other crime scenes? Other crime scenes? Nope, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds. So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her. And we have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger, because the man in the photo can possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't. The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting, and we know that until the room was tossed, the clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible. The only hallway in that apartment runs from the north to the south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact of the matter is that he used to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You've played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation, you're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... What are we seeing? No claims of the shooting. Oh, the mirror. Wait. Is it a mirror? What is that? You're trying the glass shards again? Sorta. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. A mirror that at the time of the shooting stood across the room from the western window, sorry. But then that would mean, at that angle, from that viewpoint, it would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm. And as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks. And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proved that my client couldn't have possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except it looks like Detective Reyes really is the novice gambler. Cost has gotten his teeth in her now, clawing up her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever, the impotent irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put on a nice bow on everything for you. In summary, my client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with this fact, he received the photographic evidence of that exact moment of shooting. And instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, you tried to claim it depicted my client. A man without the requisite limbs, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. He could have had backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs. A bit. Oh my god, that's so cool. That's the best you've got? Even a bare bones prosthetic of the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic which would have left a record of his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for a full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it to minimum. Somewhere, Detective Reyes did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm for your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest. Well, oh my god, she's about to throw hands. Any objections? Detective? God. Damn. It. That was cool. That was really cool. Show me your hand flat. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you. Now I gotta go call the DA and tell her I made a mistake. Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know. Detective? Lost my train of thought. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger, ain't she? Oh my god, excuse me. And she just fought like hell for you. Make sure you thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah. That's kind of you to say, detective. But my work is its own reward. Sure. I feel exactly the same way, counselor. What happens now? I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats, you get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact. Yay? But what am I supposed to do? The detectives will continue their investigation. Their investigation into heartbreak, huh? Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements. No, that's not what Diane being gone is bad enough. But a serial killer? It's like she died of the flu. It doesn't happen anymore. People die of the flu all the time, but I know what you mean. I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do? Hell if I know. There are some contacts I could give you. Services professionals, doctors. No, you've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself, to try and convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you. You're welcome, Carlos, but it's my job to... No, I mean, thank you for not asking. For not asking if I killed her. Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Oh! Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Is it her? The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place, easy to find, hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom, only one for each of us. A I don't know how to speak that. Roskark. Test with singular, universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. She's a criminal defense attorney after all. Yes, she is. Goddamn, yes, she... Criminal. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite, the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor has its own kind of low-brow appeal. What was she doing? Oh my god. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untagged gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look so surprised, lady. Moping around in the dark in here, must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend back from an encore of that enthralling conversation? Yeah, I did see. Actually, let's check it out. Let's see profiles. Oh, no. There she is. Oh my god. Cannot carry a tune. Oh my god, she's crazy. Oh, they have different likes. They have different personalities. Wait a minute. It has the same all of this. They have different things. Hold on. Favorite dish, mapo tofu, likes high places, gambling, and guns. Oh no, it's the same thing. No, it is different. Huh. What could this mean? Can't ask her now. Hey. Yeah, did you hear that? These old PCs are so goddamn loud. And people aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places usually full of trash. But this room, as cheap as it looks, is at least clean and organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. I kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes, each of them, not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toast over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets with my frustration and try to savor the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it'll be consistent. You calm now? This was all so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself on humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with single shots? I need to take a print screen. I'm sorry. I'm just enthralled. Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Heartbreak killer? Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless voyeurs would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I'd feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just a reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those 6 people because I saw them and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MO of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air is weighty tonight. Thick, energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off, when the steam lingers, yeah, it's always the most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walked. 5 a.m. Sorry, using my left still. That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. Whoa! I took a scenic route home, courtesy of the fine city-sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for a public defender work came up. Decent rate, since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning. Okay, where else? Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers? Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was of course innocent, so his conviction would never be airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes, more headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut in haste. Now, with no more murders matching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find a culprit. Now heartbreak and just starve to death, out of sight and mind, like any other fluke in the system. Almost done. Getting involved with a case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up a smoke inside an interrogation room just to make doubly sure I didn't still smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seemed more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities' failings from the best seat in the house? That's just a bonus. Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too. Funny. I didn't even know her name. Something the matter? No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died... Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground. No, I know, but... I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. That she must have died hating me. What evidence can I present? I'm not gonna say anything. He doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know anything more. Sorry, you've done so much. I shouldn't be placing any more baggage on you. Don't worry about it, Carlos. You couldn't have given me baggage if you tried. Long night. The gun's in custody, there's no more bullets left. There won't be a seventh victim, there won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next MO. And no one will... What the fuck are you? Found you. District Attorney Rockford. Oh my god, she looks crazy as fuck. Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried. By all means. Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or night, you're always so put together. I don't get it. How do you sleep at night? Pardon? You do white noise? Aromatherapy? Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it. God. I must have bangs on... bangs. I must have bags under my eyes, dark enough for the dumpsters. Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court trying to prove her defenders guilty. And despite her sometimes unkept appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the remarkable ability to compartmentalize all that adversarial energy and only bring out it in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read. Should I buy a new mattress? What they got on you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma? Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. Me? Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreakers killings. That's my case. Well then, you must have been relieved finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me. No? Why would I be worried about going up against you? It's always the unintended barbs with her. So you're working with those detectives? Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for trial. Preparation for trial? That seems ambitious. I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little. It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So Reyes told you they had HK in custody and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here? Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Oh my god. Too much on my mind. So when I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart, yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all. Oh? I mean, Carlos Flack, a serial killer? The same serial killer that's outsmarted the state for 8 weeks? She's not using his middle name. He was found with a murder weapon, but I can answer that any number of ways. It could have been flat. No, it couldn't. No gunpowder was found. That may be true, but then I glanced at the report. You glanced at it? No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes. Right. Too remorseful, too apologetic at that note. Whatever it was about, his dominant arm modded, with documented sensitivity issues. Never could have made the shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistics entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints. She got all that from a glance? But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that in the minute you walked in here. Of course. Worst part is, she's not even being sarcastic. Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile. Profile? Yeah, Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it. I know what a goddamn profile is. A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence from their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of 100, who is caught on camera? Or before they even leave the house. I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it. Heartbreaks and Mo. Let me drink some water. Hold on. 1 second. Okay. Well, at least this heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon. He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident he can just do just fine without it. And it just makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills. Were there other shootings with the same MO? No, not that I've found. Other victims that fit the description? No, but I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people. That's true. Hell, they kind of look like me. Oh my god. Do they? Sure. What, you don't see it? I hadn't thought about it. Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think heartbreaks is a misnomer? Misnomer. You've got something catchier in mind? I just don't think that shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's the perfection.
That's hard to wrap your head around. I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke, a slip-up, a mistake. Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient, and now they've got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed. Are you talking about the crime scene? Yeah, probably threw the detective for a loop, right? Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem to like the smooth operator you've been describing. On the contrary, I don't follow. This was the last bullet, their last shot. The other 5 were perfect, so if anything was out of place this time around, they must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum. You make them sound like a child. Childish and cowardly and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win. Your profile tell you all that? No. That part just takes one to know one. About profiling. So this profiling, it's some kind of investigative technique? The theory is that a crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing overkill points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poison and guns, meanwhile, suggest they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the thing you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of recurring themes in their stories. The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can these crimes possibly tell you? That he's diligent, almost perfect, highly intelligent, painstakingly organized, and with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm. It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time. A lone wolf, educated, but all her playfully lethal instincts coming to life. Probably overqualified or undervalued. Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in the metaphor I would be. You know what I mean? Definitely. And considering the marksmanship, the detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So does that mean heartbreaks in law enforcement? Never in 10 billion years. Oh. Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like the stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. They'd be kicking kids in the head after his first full rotation. Right, that's exactly how I'd put it. There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary. These types can't help but insert themselves. Insert themselves? I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK is not a cop, how do they know about the blackout timing? Crime metastatistics analysis, probably. Pardon? Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out, look for brief spikes and delays, chart out the dips in... Sorry, technical, I know, but all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator, anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to. That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. So to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faithless, perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type. In a city with an 8-digit population. Well, good luck. I don't need luck, I only need more information. Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources. No, Morgan. I mean I need more crime scenes. Oh. That truth if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way to my net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies. Not a very fair trade, is it? No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil. Fair enough. Woof. Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. You think a higher threat count would help? Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble. It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom. Sorry, but that's all the adversarial process. There you go. So no hard feelings, yeah? No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do. I could use a cup of coffee. How about you? Don't tempt me. If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture. Okay. Just don't expect this to make a difference next time we're at each other's throats. Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on the cases they actually stand a chase of closing. It's what people do. But Emma is different. Oh my. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to take my eyes off of her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view. We finished episode 0. Oh? Who are you, cutie? Android? Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while. For how long? I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it. My face barely moved. It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that. This friend of yours, they're trustworthy? Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun. Really? Really? Educational, too. I think you could stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan. This was great. I love the demo. I'm buying the episode 1. I'm buying it. This is delightful. This Patrick guy did a lot, eh? Written, directed, and developed by Brian. Brian, you're one hell of a man. Columnator. Wee. That's funny. Also, the soundtrack, amazing. The art style, that's what ticked me. Like, that's perfect. This is a really cool game. And the plot twist, I'm all for it. Our friends and family, you the players, oh my god, heart. Made with Unity. Huh. Hell yeah. And he shall appear. To be continued in... You're the smartest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. Personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. You're a criminal defense attorney, and we're at a crime scene. I think I can guess what happens next. I've never stolen anything that wasn't already compromised. Work hard and the company will have you set for life, and after too. Can't tell you how many musicians I've seen screwed over by a big smile and a fat signing bonus. So that's just not a lawyer job thing. You dress like a doorman on the weekends too? Compared to determining fault, determining cause of death is like a breath of fresh air. The company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. But it's a million times more likely than the alternative. That heartbreak could ever stop themselves from killing. Father said they would hold him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Episode 1 is out. An idle mind. Ooh, my results, hello. 2 out of 2 articles, all right. 6 out of 6 profiles. I got all the key terms true. All the pieces of evidence. 28 total credit earned. I hope that's good. Congratulations! You finished episode 0 with 28 credit. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. You also have 28 remaining store credit to spend on phone charms and case colors based on the highest credit you finished the episode with. I want to purchase... Wait, ooh, bonus scenarios. What do we have here? Ooh, London interview? Is this an actual video? Oh, okay, it's not. Do you want to interview me? It's very flattering, but aren't there more lively folks around here for you to question? I had considered that, so I'm not your first choice. You are the first one who hasn't walked away. Come to think of it, I should probably. So what are your 3 sizes? Have you been opening with that? Should I not? Do you have any pets? Afraid not. We need 1 or 2. Or 3 promotions to afford that kind of thing. Are pets that expensive? Only if you care about them. Maybe if I found a place closer to the park. Have you ever owned an automated dependence? Not had the chance. Would you own one if you could? Maybe one of them little vacuum ones. Anything more complicated than that is... If you find the owner's manuals intimidating, there are video-based tutorials I could show you. I'm not worried about the ease of use, don't worry. When I say complicated, I mean... It's like what I said about pets. Fine to leave a goldfish in a tiny bowl. Time it takes to swim half a lap, it'll forgotten what the first half looks like. Not a very tall hierarchy of needs there, easy to please. But a cat, a dog, I don't want to be at work thinking about how bored they are sitting at home. I return with, ooh, grilled cheese and dogs, hell yeah. But we finished episode 0. Now we're doing I'm checking out the interviews, and I'm gonna check out the concept art too. And today's ads are a lot more smarter than dogs about most things. That's a very thoughtful perspective, Detective London. It's a moot point anyway. I'd need to get hit by a city bus to afford any of the new stuff Noble's selling. No, you're thinking of the sheltered generation. Sheltered as in sheltered upbringing? Or shelter in place. There was a lot of uncertainty during their childhood. So when they grew up, they wanted surety, safety, stability. Wanted to know that their heart would stay on in the winter. And their politics reflect that. But that was all before my time. My generation's a little more, well, Generation Zen. That's what they call this in their think pieces. Even-tempered, mentally strong, and more than a little cynical. You disagree? It wasn't a matter of mindfulness. We just grew up without false expectations. Our visions wasn't clouded with illusions about impossibilities like home ownership. or retirement. We realized early that we'd be working right up until we detected unrealistic expectations. Some people call that hope. To see your friends, your classmates drowning every day in that kind of mire, and then have to listen to people 3 times your age going about enlightened today's youths are. Gen Zen. It's not a name I'm particularly fond of. It's talking about Gen Z, isn't he? So how long have you been in law enforcement? Too long. And how long have you been with the homicide department? Not that long by comparison. Sorry, don't mean to be overly vague. If you really want to know, I spent the bulk of my career over in arson. Was it different from homicide? Flashier, I'd say. Everyone jokes that homicides solve themselves in a city with this many cameras. Meanwhile, fraud and disinfo are so entrenched in the tech arms race they barely come up for air. But arson really hasn't changed much in the modern era. Fire is still very good at destroying evidence. You can't expect the drone net to sweep into burnt rubble and bring you back out of the culprit's fingerprints and driver lessons. It's a lot of legwork, a lot of interviewing, and since more than half of the culprits we caught were burners helping Megs commit insurance fraud, we spent a lot of time making friends and enemies in high-rise corporate boardrooms. Megs? Just slang for mega corporations, which is also just slang. And what size does corporation become mega? It's not really about gross revenue or how many countries you operate in. If you're big enough to crush people, you're a meg. An apex predator among apex predators. Like the Autodus megalodon of the Miocene epoch. Hey, that's... Wait, is that where it comes from? So why are you working in the homicide department? What's that? Why'd you leave arson? The smoke. The smoke? Just got a point where I couldn't stand the smell. That was fun. Let's see Rhea's interview. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god, thank you for the hydrate. Something got stuck. Oh my god. Me and my saliva. I was trying to get into character. God damn. Hold on, give me a minute. I need to blow my nose. All right, I'm good. Thanks. Or I was going to speak and then my saliva got into places it shouldn't have been. Oh, okay, you can start now that my desktop's censored. So for the record, your full name is Farah Reyes. And how is that pronounced? Like how I just said it? Reyes. Thank you. Your birthday is October 19th. And how do you take your coffee? She makes you fetch the coffee? Figures. Wait, let me guess. Counselor Morgan takes her coffee black. No, decaf. Like a real psychopath. Decaf, yes, sometimes with milk. Oh my god, I just had that. Before stream, I took a decaf with milk. Am I a psychopath? I swear I'm okay. It's good. Hey, listen. Nice, that's even worse. And you, detective? With 2 sugars and a bottle of water, now that I've got this. You mean your eye? When did you have that mudded? After I learned I was getting promoted to detective, and before I realized I was getting promoted to homicide. Do you regret it? No. Would have wanted it for work eventually, if it takes me a while longer to pay off than I expected. Well, I'm hardly the one person my age walking around with their debt socketed onto them. I see. What are your likes? My likes? Pretty broad ass, don't you think? In that case, perhaps you'd find it easier to describe your dislikes. Small plates. Oh, I hate that dinner by 1,000 cuts shit. I see. And I dislike cheap people. And liars. And lawyers. Lawyers? They're smug, prideful. They build a minute greed personified. Like their time is so goddamn important. And they're annoying. And pale. And smug. Should I put down smug twice? She just hates Morgan. So what do you like, detective? Do you have hobbies? Areas of interest? Well, automotive history, maybe. Oh, could you say more about that? I guess I could talk about it a little bit. The following section has been altered from its original format. It has been edited for time. Whoop. Ah, okay. Atwood, which is supposed to be a luxury version of a pickup truck, as if there's a market for that. It's so stupid, I love it. And Isochrome, a purplish, bluish, chromish color. The copyright was so intense that just mixing the paint was illegal for. Naturally aspirated. Can you imagine? I see. Do you own a car yourself? You're joking, right? I'd rather eat asphalt than buy an EV with my hard-earned money. The following section has also been altered. It has been edited for time. Strong language. 4 rotors and a computer chip. That's not engineering. That's barely even programming, and as if acceleration was all that mattered, Andy raced longer than 2 seconds and simulated engine noise. I don't know what that. Who in their right mind? I believe that fills out your dislike section. So, what is your favorite drink? Dark and Storm is pretty good. How do you make that? Ginger beer, rum, and lots of lime juice. You putting together a recipe book or something? Who is your hero? Well, that one's easy. Detective Cousin London, of course. Oh, should I relay your sentiment to him? I'm sure he'd love to hear them. Somehow I doubt that you'd get the tone right. Very well, in that case, what are your 3 sizes? My what? 3 measurements for your bust, waist, and... I'm not telling you that. Where the hell are you getting these questions from? I designed my interview process to extract all the same kinds of facts that are mostly commonly listed online. On what websites? Open source, collaborative, community-focused databases. Do you mean like a wiki? Would you prefer to skip this question? Tell you what. If you can find a single person who does answer that question, I'll give you mine down to the millimeter. That's funny. Now, Carlos' interview. I sense a touch of autism. Oh, for sure. The way she was speaking, so this is like an offboarding thing, an exit interview? Yes, it is like that. Oh. Well, that's sweet of Morgan. Still worrying about me? How'd she know I'd be here? She didn't. Why are you here? Oh, hoping to get back to some of my stuff that police collected as evidence. Don't tell Morgan that, by the way. Is there something embarrassing among what they seized? No, it's just, I'm guessing as my lawyer. Is she still my lawyer? Well, as a lawyer, she'd probably know the exact right form to get this stuff back, but it's okay, I wanted to do this myself. Why is that? Conquering my fears, maybe, huh? Last time I came here, I was dragged in, strong-armed. Everything was going so fast I barely spoke. I didn't stand up for myself. If I had been able to stop and think things through clearly, well, I could never have done what Morgan did, but maybe I wouldn't have gotten myself dug so deep. It must have been very upsetting being accused of something so terrible. I'm sure you reacted just as well as annoying as anyone could be expected to. 1 second. There you go. Sorry about that. Thanks, I think. My arm? No, it's not back yet. At this point, I might be better off getting an upgrade rather than waiting for my current model to get fixed. Is that allowed? Yeah, it is. Can't downgrade, can trade it, can opt out. But Hindi will let me upgrade it anytime. Do you ever regret it? Getting modded? Sometimes. but I have a lot of regrets. Compared to some of them, buyer's remorse is... How do you deal with your buyer's remorse? Lately I've been lying face down on the floor and exhaling. Just for 30 seconds. I count to 30. And you feel better afterwards? Yeah. He's so cute. He's adorable. I mean, I've seen the process, but I've never... There's a lot of pains being a modder. Makes sense that people would have loud opinions, want them heard. We all made a choice. All signed the papers. I guess that's just it, huh? Not all of us made the choice ourselves. I got modded to help my career. Didn't need to get modded just in order to have one. But a lot of people do. A lot of people did and do. There was this guy who worked with us for 1 quarter. Probably a vet, but definitely didn't want to talk about it, so none of us asked. Good coworker. Very gung-ho, cheery, in a muscle head kind of way. It's a physical job, so there's no slouches, but he wasn't just fit, he was cut and handsome. And so when he kept showing up to work with more and more mods, all of them cosmetic, I didn't get it. What's he missing? What's a guy like that want to change about himself? Got offered full-time at the end of the contract, but he said he needed something that paid better. Turns out he'd blown every paycheck at elective surgeons. Pal of mine in HR said he had given his insurance info to 6 different clinics in the span of 4 weeks. Word is he wasn't even using the pain pills, sold them to some of the drivers for extra cash. That's the worst I've ever seen in grafting runaway or plastophilia or whatever they're calling it now. But it's not the only time I've seen it. It's not like there's no incentive for it. Because there are plenty of men out there that see people hurting like that and think, that's an ideal worker. So you work for Morgan and you're, wow, lawyers must make more money than I realized. Wait, are you here to give me the bill? How much do I owe? You don't owe her anything. Her services were paid for by the state. And I happen to be forbidden from handling any kind of financials due to an ongoing dispute about what constitutes essential office supplies. I hear ya. Diane was always the money smart one. Pretty strict, actually. Unless you saw a fidget tubby at the shelf. You could see her eyes light up. Could hear her huffing like she'd just won the lottery. You're ugly cute, babe. And I would say, well, you're cute, babe. Believe it or not, she thought it was pretty suave. That's what's up. Now we only have to check Morgan. Morgan interview. Let me add it. You're gonna interview me? Here? You did say I need to practice asking better questions. But right now, because you said the police would be making us wait so they feel more important for the next 20 minutes. Is there some more productive way we could spend that time? I was planning on napping. For 20 minutes? In the lobby of a police precinct. I can fall asleep anywhere. It's one of my many hidden talents. You're gonna write all of this down? Could you start with your name for the record? Morgan. And your first name? You should know by now that no one calls me by my first name. That's something you can have control over. I wouldn't want to force the issue. How long has that been the case? As long as I care to remember. Then what did your parents call you? The tumor. Jesus. That was a joke. Oh. Maybe we should have started you off with someone a little more your speed. Who better to start with than you? Someone who likes talking about themselves. You seem to talk about yourself as much as anyone else does. Or more. I tell people things about myself. It's different. Because you're lying? Now you're getting it. It's not very polite to lie. On the contrary, telling the truth is usually rude. I'm not sure that your client would appreciate that sentiment. We're not talking about my clients. We're talking about manners. We were supposed to be talking about you. Look, the sooner you learn this, the better. When people ask how you are or what you've been up to, they're not looking for anything nearly so heavy as the truth. They're just following the template. And the polite thing to do is for you to follow the template as well. Here, let's practice. Hi, Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Way too late. The whole point is to be on autopilot. Now you've forced them to grab the wheel, check their mirrors, and no one's ever grateful for the extra workload. You can be very cynical about these kinds of things at times. I'm just trying to teach. I'm just trying to tell you that people are fundamentally lazy. So if you want to be a social butterfly like me, try not to make them work too hard. Fundamentally lazy? Do you think people are fundamentally good too? Obviously. If they weren't, they wouldn't be so easy to trick. So are you planning on answering any of my questions about yourself? I've still got time to kill. Fire away. Will you be honest? I wouldn't want to be rude. When's your birthday? Wait, you're not trying to guess my passwords, are you? I would never commit identity fraud. Not the worst way of going about it, actually. December 26th. 26, that's almost Christmas. But almost Christmas means it's not Christmas. Your insights are always so original. Did you receive your presents on your birthday or on your Christmas? What do you mean? Did you not celebrate Christmas in your family? We did. So did your parents give you presents on the 25th or the 26th? Well, I got Christmas presents on Christmas, and I got birthday presents on my birthday. Obviously. Are all your questions going to be this strange? What is your favorite color? Are all your questions going to be this juvenile? If you prefer something weightier, do you volunteer? No. Do you donate? Yes. What causes do you donate towards? Endangered wildlife. What's with her face? It's an auto renewal. I just haven't canceled it yet. You've mentioned a mentor figure before. No way I ever called her a mentor. A busybody, maybe. World record holder for the billable hours spent under influence, perhaps. Or just, the cougar from hell. If she had rubbed off on me in any way, I'd have hives. I see. Is she a smoker? Lastly, do you know your 3 sizes? I do. Would you tell me? That's private. You value your privacy very highly, don't you? Yeah, I did almost say the pussy body. I was trying to make up the words, I swear. More like everyone else doesn't value it enough. Water's rising, the world's getting smaller, literally, less real estate to go around, and everything's connected to everything else. These days, just wanting some time or space to yourself is considered selfish, or worse. Only the guilty have something to hide. I don't like that phrase. Laws like the MOB Act have made it so anonymity and privacy are luxuries. Privileges reserved for the privileged. And if anyone below the tax bracket tries to claw away a little bit of it from themselves, well, it can only be because they're guilty, right? Is that why you became a criminal defense attorney? To defend people's innocence? That's private. That was funny. Okay, we've checked the interviews. Let's just see the concept gallery. Oh, that's cool. It turned out very similar. that one's really funny. Ooh, hold on. Ooh. How does hair work? Claw clip. Ah, it's a claw clip. Yeah, that's him. Ooh. I like the bangs. I like it. Very rough sketch. Carlos flat. That's Diane. She's cute. I like her style. Emma Rockford. Ooh. Raise the feet. Cute. Heart fake killer. Oh, this is someone that's coming, isn't it? And the android. Inverse of Morgan's colors. That's cute. Oh my god. Very cool. There's still a lot that we need to uncover. I will be purchasing episode 1. Thank you very much. But for now, we'll leave it here. I really liked to get to know everyone before I play episode 1, because I will be playing it, and still this year. Not in the near future. I wouldn't say not in August. But who knows between September, October, and December, and November. I missed a month. I will be playing this game. But for now, I'll be leaving the stream here. Let me go back to my thing. Come back. There it is. But yes, I'll be leaving it here. I really enjoyed playing that game. It was so much fun. And again, the stakes were high. They really got into gambling. That was so much fun. Let me see if anyone's playing. No. Okay, that's fine. Have a good one. Thank you for streaming, Trondheim. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you coming and keeping me company while I finish. Okay, there's Paper Poppy is finishing a comic, so let's raid and see what's up. All right? You all have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you on Friday for the big stream. Keep your eyes on Discord. I will be posting there some stuff that you might want to see with the games I will be playing. Maybe. All right, have a lovely rest of your Sunday. I love you so much, and I'll see you all on the next time. Bye bye.